Is this thing on? Well, howdy ho to all the hoes and hows out there. We are back again for UCR Live. It's Friday here in Australia, Thursday night there in the States, and some weird time in the UK because I could never pick it. But anyway, wherever you are, if you're watching us live or you're watching us on replay, we thank you deeply for joining us. It's a fantastic four here again today. We're just too good at our own jobs to know what's happening. But, you know, we're going to change things up today. We're going to start with Vera. How are you this week,
Oh,
V?
my goodness. You're starting with me. You never start with me.
I know. I'm messing around.
Honored. I had a spa day with the girlfriends yesterday. I looked all glowy and dewy. I had a big facial. Well, a long facial. I don't know how big it was.
I had a
With a
big
short
facial.
day at work this week, or short week at work, because I had time off today and time off tomorrow. I don't know. Been a good week. Knock wood.
Knock wood. Well, that's good. We're started off well. That's good. We enjoy that, and I'm going to keep us guessing.
Oh,
Tim, how are you? How's your week been?
Good. I'll ruin the momentum. I don't know what I complained about last week, so if I'm gonna do it again, then too effing bad. I'm emotionally and physically exhausted. It's hot as hell. There's no reprieve in sight, and I'm just sore from head to toe. And I do nothing but drive around a 9 and 10-year-old girl like a goddamn chaperone. Chauffeur. So that's been my week. So great.
We know that Tim doesn't handle the heat well, by the sounds of it.
Nope. My birthday's in January. I prefer the winter. My dog is a winter dog. I like snow. I like it cold. Like we're arguing over where to go for our honeymoon, and she keeps like suggesting tropical climates, and I'm like, no. How about like a cruise around Canada or Alaska, something like that? And I'm probably going to lose that fight, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy my summer. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a huge fan of the heat. AC and fans all year long. So
I don't do humidity. It makes me sad in my heart. I was like, oh,
yeah.
no. Don't be like sticky. I don't
It's
like being
been here
sticky.
today.
Oh, I don't like being sticky. It makes me sad. Christina, you said you're sticky.
only when I have big facials, but I didn't get one this week.
Yeah.
So,
You
That's
stole
the
it.
way.
You took it from me. Damn it. That's what she said.
but yeah, yeah, it is like an oven outside. It's disgusting, and I have gotten 16 hours of sleep over the past 4 nights because my sister has kept me up till 2 fucking a.m. in the morning putting her wedding invitations together. So that was a lot of fun. But I get to spend time. It's always a fun time with her and at Tim's house, But I'm with you. I don't like the summer. It drives me nuts. I hate boob sweat. I hate sweat. I hate everything about it. So I'm ready for
Two different
the
things. Two different things, right? You've got to clarify.
Sweat, yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Beautiful words for people to listen to on this podcast.
Yeah.
Ball sweat. That's great. It's great times. I think that people are really happy that they've tuned in.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, full of I would do too. Ball sweat. Why not? Okay, well, we've got
Would
a
you
lot to
rather
talk.
boob sweat?
No, I'm
Boob
good.
sweat?
I'd rather no.
Would you rather boob
I'd rather
sweat?
no sweat. I'd rather be in aircon. Air conditioning or a pool. Right? That's the dream. Air
Exactly.
conditioning or a pool. Or a pool that you can swim into the air conditioning and get out. So that's the dream. That's the dream. As I said, we've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get straight into this week's
hot load of hot topics.
Now, Today's show is going to be a weird one.
What
Just
is it?
saying.
We
Just
like weird.
saying. We got some weird topics today. We're going to start with a story that was breaking last week when we jumped online, but video footage of the slap. Well, the second slap that has resounded around the world has gone live. The video from inside the casino, which saw Britney Spears being slapped. Not as dramatic as first reported. She wasn't knocked to the ground, but he still clipped her pretty damn hard. And you can just hear the guys with her going, "That's Britney Spears, man! That's Britney Spears!" Like screaming, "That's Britney Spears! That's Britney Spears!" It's like that's it, but it does support her narrative because the basketball player in question came out and said that he was grabbed from behind and didn't see what happened. Britney has once again, as she does, taken to social media to let her side of the story be known. There's quite a lengthy statement here regarding what happened, but it does support her, her story. It is sad that she had to put in their traumatic experiences are not new to me, and I've had my fair share of them. I'm like, oh, poor Britney. But yeah, she tapped him on the shoulder, which the video supports. There was no grabbing from behind, and the guy that hit her was super tall, super huge. So he got her on the downward
really
swing.
freaking tall.
That was it was intense. It was, but I still think, why are we slapping people? Why are we slapping people?
Yeah, just for like a tap. I don't get that.
Because we live in a world where celebrities have to have bodyguards.
Yeah,
well, the amount of shit that's getting thrown at people, and
yeah,
I don't know, who goes to concerts to throw stuff at people? I don't get that.
But that's why people need bodyguards, and that's why bodyguards respond the way they did. I mean, it's very unfortunate, and yes, I don't like violence, but
Mr. Vet, we will say, I'm cool. I'm cold. It's quite cold here. I'm sitting in the heated room with like
not cold here.
Hoodie on everything, but you guys are sweating it out. But yeah, I just like, when does the world go, we have the right to touch anyone we want whenever we want? It's like, when you raise your hand, keep your hands to yourself. You don't.
Keep your hands to yourself.
But that's the thing. Everyone's like, I'm going to touch this person because I can. Someone said I can, or not even someone said I can. I've decided that my experience is more important than everyone else's. I'm going to touch this person, or I'm going to throw this at this person because I want to do it. It's like, dude.
Yeah, that's now that you say that, it's kind of weird. I mean, I don't get like starstruck, but like I've been in plenty of situations where a celebrity or an athlete or a musician has been within reach, and never have I thought to myself, it's a good idea. If I reached out and touched this person, what does that do for me? Because my friends are only going to tell me I'm an asshole when I tell them the story. Like, hey man, I got to touch. Like we joke around. A friend of a friend last year at a golfing event, a PGA event, got a high five from one of the golfers, and his friends still mock him to this day for talking about it. So it's not even like it's like you know what I mean? Like, why? Like I don't get it. There's no collectible there. There's no autograph. There's no, it's just a story, and it's the same story as, I was in a restaurant and so was there. It was pretty cool. Like, you don't need to swarm these people. I don't get that.
Yeah. I think unless they initiate something, you shouldn't be touching anyone. Really, like, what I mean?
Right.
Like, I've had my fair share of celebrity encounters, and I don't engage unless I'm engaged first. Like, that's
right.
Like, they are people. They are people. They are living their lives. So unless they turn and go, "Hi, how are you? Oh, good, thanks." Shake your hand, like whatever, hug, whatever they're doing. that's how you react. You don't turn into like a raving idiot like these super fans.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
these people at concerts are claiming their fans throwing things at people. Like, well, I don't get
Like,
that. I don't like.
no rules. Like everything goes now.
Are we monkeys again? Like, what's happening? We're just
Yeah.
throwing things at people we
Well,
like.
Well, aren't
It's-
celebrities getting hurt now?
Yeah,
Didn't Harry
Definitely.
Styles get hit in the eye?
Harry Styles has been hit repeatedly. He usually gets smacked in the groin because of where Harry gets hit in the nuts a lot with by flying. Yeah, no, BB Rexha was the one who copped it. That mobile phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone recently just got like a girl got like stitches or something, didn't she? Like in the forehead or
We
something.
talked about it a couple of weeks ago. But it could have done serious damage to her eye. Like, those are hefty things. We've all done the scroll in bed and drop phone on face. It's like, that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fun. So imagine that coming at you at 100 miles an hour. You're like, ow!
Yeah.
Jeez,
What
that-
the hell?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than throwing my phone either. It's like my extra heart or something. It's like,
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get that back after you've thrown
yeah, I
it?
know, right?
Yeah.
And
Like,
now
what
it's
are you doing
empty,
with that?
motherfucker. So congratulations. It's like,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
work. But look, everyone has a side to their story, and Brittany said she had something to tell us this week. She was like, there is an announcement. There's a big announcement. The book is actually coming out. Britney Spears, The Woman in Me, her memoir / autobiography is coming out October 24th. Now, she says that she has had to have a lot of therapy in order to write this book. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly comes of it, because there's been a little bit of interpretation of her Instagram posts when she announced it. The way that she said, enjoy the book. Go back and watch it. It sounds a little bit sarcastic, so people are wondering whether she is like just over people asking questions, and she's like, well, here you go, enjoy the book. Or that someone has got the publishing company or whoever has got their hands on the book and edited it to suit a narrative that is not necessarily hers. So there's a lot going on in the world of Britney Spears. There's new music coming apparently in the next couple of weeks that has nothing to do with her. It's all old demos and stuff that will.i.am has recorded with her, and a very and again on TikTok, one of the Instagram fake Britney girls got approached to be in the video, and they were going to deep fake it and use technology to put Britney's face on her body because she dances the same as Britney. So yeah, the truth is coming, but how much truth do you think will come from a book like that? Usually you got to wait until someone dies till we get the truth.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much she had a part in actually writing it. Like, how much was it really her? Like, was it really her, who wrote it? Or was it just like, just part of her and then like the rest is just like filler? I don't know. It's hard.
I would think that after years of being in that conservatorship and essentially a prisoner, that she's got no holds barred. There's nobody that she's afraid to offend at this point.
I feel like that was very fast, though.
The book's apparently been written since last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of therapy in a year.
That is, well, if that's all you've got to do with your time, like it's like she's working. All she does is get on.
I couldn't tell my truth until my mother was dead. Well, she's dead, and I don't pull my punches. I got no care about offending someone.
Yeah, I think, especially with this, though, it's so entwined with the entertainment industry, and because of the relationships that she's had, these are big names that she'll be talking about in the book. I'm sure Justin Timberlake will be quite concerned. I'm sure, who else has she dated? There was Colin Farrell, all those people that she was like linked with.
Colin Farrell's embarrassed himself. I mean, his resume is no walk in the park. And
Poor
Justin did apologize for not taking better care of Brittany.
Ugh,
You know,
Justin's
Justin's
horrendous.
whatever.
fault.
Justin's
She can
an
say
ass.
whatever she wants about him.
Yeah,
You know?
and then his lawyers will get involved. That'll be good.
Yeah.
But look,
Once his lawyers get involved, he's already admitted to culpability.
that's all right. I've put my pre-order down on Audible, so I'll be all over it. I'm like, I got Audible credits. Let's go. I hope that she does the
Yeah.
reading. Hey y'all, it's Britney Spears. This is my life. It'll be great if it's her.
It's funny though, because like even my husband, like now that he's more on TikTok, he's like, I saw a video of Britney Spears. He's like, she looks like shit. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I used to have like a crush on her when I was a kid. He's like, and now she just looks like death. He's like, something's wrong with her. Like, I'm like, I know. Like, I've been talking about this with people. Like, you're just coming into this now, but it's just like,
Yeah.
but to get
Welcome
like
to
an
the world of
outside
social
perspective
media.
who doesn't know, yeah, he's not on social anything. Like,
You
no
mean
social
Joe
media
doesn't
except for
watch
TikTok.
us?
No, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't have Facebook. He doesn't have Instagram. All he has is TikTok, and he's happy with that. But my God, it's just the realization that she's like falling apart, and it's just funny to see it in his eyes.
Yeah, look, it's your own. I'm sure that as we get closer to the story being released, we'll get bits and pieces leaked out to us that'll be sensational and scandalous and all the drama. But look, as I said, I'll be reading it, and I think that she's going to make. She's already made a mozza on the deal to write the book, and I'm sure she's going to make a mozza in royalties. So it'll make up for all that money that Daddy stole, the billions and billions of dollars that her dad stole. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. So we'll go from we're doing a lot of recapping actually. This at the beginning of this week, we'll go from the Princess of Pop to the Queen of Pop. Madonna has officially released a statement after her hospitalization, looking a lot more like herself as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Looking a lot more like herself. Obviously, still tight,
Yeah.
but as not as swollen and post surgery. I think that we don't realize how serious it was. Actually, like we talked about it, but she was, she was not breathing. She was unresponsive. She was put on a ventilator.
Septicemia is lethal. People die of that all the time.
It's not good. And she's like, oh, I'm coming back, and I'll be everyone. There's of course because Madonna. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm sure you were concerned about your kids. I'm like, I feel like that's a random flex. I feel like it's a random flex though. Like for someone who has adopted so many kids, and those kids have the best of everything. I don't know if you've ever seen her kids on social media. They all do whatever they want, play piano, ride horses, all like those kids have the best of everything they could ever want. And they genuinely adore her. So I don't think people can.
I was gonna say, I'm sure if she's a loving mother, that would be your first.
Everyone's like, she cares about her kids. I'm like, why would she adopt? Like, she's got 2 biological kids. Why would she adopt like 4 other kids if she didn't care about them?
Yeah.
It's not like that makes your headlines anymore.
Yeah.
It used to if you did it once. It's like, she might actually just care about people too. But like, especially if she does, some of her kids are younger. She's got old, like her oldest is an adult now, but she's got younger kids. I don't. Yeah, there's just there always is. There always will be just venom aimed at her because she is who she is and she does what she does, and she's still going to do this tour. She thinks she's going to be ready to go by October, but also it's a big. This tour is a monster. I reckon this will have to be the last time.
Well, this is what's keeping her young. Is this kind of touring?
It's monstrous. This thing's going over like over 100 dates, like all over the world, and they haven't even announced.
That's a physical feat, like training for the Olympics.
Especially her kind of tours. If you've never seen her live, she goes out. She goes well and truly out. Not to like Pink standards where she's flipping through the air, but she pushes that body pretty damn hard. She's dancing, she's running around, she's doing the things. But I wouldn't be doing it. Like, fuck that for a joke. I'll sit on a stool and have a little ding little moment. But
did anybody see the clip of Taylor Swift
doing what?
The trap door didn't work, so she took off and run down the runway at her tour.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Wow, shit!
Oh no!
that stage is monstrous too, and she's halfway down the catwalk and she realizes that the fucking trap door's not working. She's like, you can see it on her face. She's like, motherfucker. She's like. Because that show is so well timed that if she misses the cue, she misses the cue. It's like there's no pausing that thing once it starts. I don't know if you guys seen any of the video of her tour?
Yeah.
Videos.
So she performs right at the end of the catwalk for one of the songs, just like singing, and then all of a sudden the stage turns to water.
Yep.
And she dives into the stage, and her, like a projection of her swims up the catwalk and up to the stage. So apparently, there's video of it going wrong one night where they mistimed it. So she started swimming, and she's only just dived at the end. So it's like as does the show anything that big, things go wrong. But it's just like, that's a lot of pressure. I know.
Stage manager.
I know what that pressure feels like. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin things. Like, when we did the Olympic opening ceremony, I did the Olympic opening ceremony in the year 2000, and we had to build scaffolding to dance on in the middle of this huge arena on top of trucks. And it had all gone well, but if the scaffolding was off by like a couple of centimeters, the lift that comes up the middle of it would catch the lip and flip the whole thing and kill everyone. So that was always exciting. That never happened, but we were about to go on stage, and I couldn't find 2 pieces of my scaffolding. I was like,
oh my God.
And I was the panic and sweat and sheer terror. I'm like, about to go on, like we're about to go on in front of millions of people, and I'm going to be the reason that this doesn't work. I'm like, freaking out. And just as we were about to leave, I saw it sitting just at the edge of the entrance. I was like, oh my God, grabbed it and ran off.
Now I have to ask Steven, was it misplaced because you did not put it away?
No, because when we finish, so at the end of the performance, we started to break it down, but we left everything on top of the trucks so that stage crew would take everything and put it back in the same spot every time, except for that time. I was like, time to do it in front of international.
It's been a talent problem where the talent failed to return the prop.
No, not a talent problem. The talent is reliable. Thank you. The talent is reliable. So we'll keep going with our updates. We talked about Kiki Palmer and Darius Dalton last week, and that dress that she wore at Usher. That we all had varying opinions on. Turns out Kiki had an opinion on whether to keep him around, and Darius went bye-bye. They scrubbed each other off each other's social medias and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like baby daddy's in the shit at the moment. But there was a big revelation this week from someone I didn't expect. It turns out misogyny is alive and well. I didn't know it was going to come from Jonah Hill.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Okay, so Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend, she is a pro surfer, has kind of let slip a little bit of the behind the scenes of their relationship and the standards at which he held their relationship. So I'll read the text message which she made public. So this is from pro surfer Sarah Brady. This is a text message from Jonah. Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. There will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Oh, oh, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
all that screams to me is I'm a really insecure fat kid, and everything you do terrifies me.
Yeah.
a lot of it is the thing that's off-putting to a lot of people. And there's the argument is going both sides. He's using a lot of therapy speak in what he says and how he delivers it. And everyone's like, oh, good on him for being clear about his boundaries and da 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 da. But to me, it's very gaslighty. Like, it's putting all of that insecurity onto her and going, well, everything
Yeah.
wrong is with this relationship is because of you. It's not the fact that his points of view may be, a little bit misogynist, a little bit dated,
Right.
a little bit,
Right.
not
Yeah.
in keeping with someone who is in the public eye or before you met them. Like, I think it's a very different situation if he was dating Jenny Regular from down the street who had no social media presence and all of a sudden started dating Jonah Hill and putting bikini pictures up. That's different. The woman's a pro surfer. What does he want her to do?
Yeah, she's gonna be in bathing suits.
Yeah.
And he even had a problem with her posting a video of her victory. She was wearing a one-piece bathing suit. Like
and when is he the friendship police? He's judging her friends. You can't have anything more than lunch with your friends. It's like that's manipulative. That's
it is.
That says more about him than it does about her. Nobody has friends who are saints.
Yeah.
Right,
To me, if I received that message, I would have been like, okay.
See you later. Yeah.
Yeah, look, congratulations for him for setting up boundaries, but those boundaries are saying a lot about you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying a lot about you. And
I get like the sexy picture thing, like I get that, like, but still, like, he went too far. He just went a little too far. And you are just pushing the boundary way a lot.
He's an actor. He has to kiss women. He has relationships in his movies.
There was the drama a little bit earlier this year that the co-star that wouldn't kiss him in his movie, and they had to CGI in the kiss.
Really?
Like, there is a history now of him being a little bit awkward to work with, especially when it comes to women. And
wow,
I don't know. Is that noble? Are we misconstruing that for gentlemanly care or something like that, or is it misogyny?
I don't know, Tim.
Looks like a little bit of both.
I mean, are those boundaries extreme? Yeah, I think that they're a little extreme. Are they his boundaries? Yeah. I mean, who are we to judge him or disrespect him? I mean, he said it. Look, this is how I feel that our relationship should go. If you feel that these are inappropriate or you can't abide by them, then we split and no hard feelings. He obviously has his own demons to work out, whether they're his insecurities or not. But it's not for us to sit here and judge. I mean, we did a round table with these four people about boundaries, a month ago, and about how you need to clearly set and establish your boundaries, and that people need to respect them. I mean, he did that. Again, do I think that they're a little extreme?
It's over.
And it's over, right. Now, I think it's a little petty on her part that this is a private text message between her and her boyfriend at the time, but now ex, I get, but now you're going to be like, oh, look at this guy? Like, I feel like she's kind of like poking fun at him a little bit. Like, oh, look how awkward and weird he is. I think that's a little juvenile for her to post like I sent that text message to you in confidence, and now it's out there for everyone to see, and now everyone's judging me on my character. I think that's a little harsh.
Again, we don't know what what initiated her posting that as well. There could have been some other stuff going on. There could not be, and it could be a shitty move. But I think going back to mentioning boundaries, I think your boundaries should kind of end when they infringe on someone else's like personal life / boundary. Like you can, I think we can all have our own boundaries. Whether someone else chooses to live by them is their point, is their choice. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. But I just think that, and like I said, I mean, those are pretty extreme, except for, like you said, somebody who was in the public eye beforehand doing all these things, and now you're like, well, now that we've been dating for a while, I think it's time you slow down. It's like, that's a little bizarre. Like, you knew what you were getting into, you knew who you were dating. Like, that's
me, it kind of smells like
weird,
remember back in the day when people would get married and you'd be like, oh well, you don't have to work now because I'm gonna be the breadwinner. You can stop your life can stop now because you're married and you don't have to work now. What if some people used to like genuinely enjoy working and they get married and their partner's like, oh well, you don't have to work anymore. Like maybe I want to work, dude. Like,
but her life is in a bathing suit. Period.
Yeah,
she's
right.
a surfer. Even if she retires from surfing, she's probably going to surf for her own personal enjoyment, and that would
her uniform is literally been.
Her friends are part of her life, whether he likes them or not. I didn't love every friend that my ex had, but they were his friends. As long as I didn't have to go out with them, he could go out with them.
You go.
I mean, he's very judgy about her friends and their life choices. Like, their life choices should not impact him at all. I think there's a lot of not just boundaries, but manipulation in that text. And I agree, her releasing it to the public is, attention seeking and manipulative too, but I don't know. There's a lot I didn't like in that text.
Yeah, I don't enjoy when people use mental health speak as a weapon either. Like he's all these are my healthy boundaries. Da, 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 da. Like, we know that you've been to your therapist. It sounds like you got a therapist to come and draft this response and go, here, this is going to make you seem good. This is going to make you not seem like there's underlying issues here. It's like, you can dress it up however you want. Yes, they are your boundaries, but some of them are very dated. This is not 1952. And if that's how he chooses to live his life, more power. Like,
I
you might
feel
find
like
someone like that. But
when you're stating your boundaries, you should say them in, when you do this, it makes me feel this. Not in the way that says, you can't do this.
You cannot, yeah.
I think there's a
Why was this sent in a text message to begin with? Why are they not having this conversation face to face?
Right.
Another good question.
Right. We talk about that. We talk about that all the time on this show. Why can't adult people, have adult conversations? And shit like this would never happen. Like, doesn't have to happen if you can be honest with your partner and go, no, I don't enjoy this.
It almost seems like he was probably maybe filming or doing something somewhere, and he saw a post that she did because she was home surfing with friends or something, and then he reacted to it by sending a text message. You know, and it's like, even if that's the case, like, you pick up the phone, you're like, hey, like, what's going on? Blah 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 blah, and then you have a conversation. Like, if I had a problem with Melissa, like, the last thing I'm doing is sending a text message about it, because that could be misconstrued. Like, normally, like, just a joke gets misconstrued because it's like, oh, why was it all caps? Why was the punctuation here? Why? Like, how many times do people like, what were you talking about in this text? And it's like, oh, no, I meant it this way. And it's like, because you can't hear, like, inflection in a text message. So it's like, so much gets lost in that communication. And I just hate that, we as a society are so reliant on that. now that people have forgotten to like talk to each other. It sucks.
They
Yeah.
don't come off as off the cuff text though. It's not like, oh shit, I just saw you in the bathing suit. This is pissing me off. It comes off like I sit down, I made a list, I thought about
Yeah.
it, I rewrote it,
I've had
I
this.
edited it.
I've had this
times.
conversation with my therapist, and we've workshopped it, and this is what we've come up with. It's like,
Yeah, oh yeah, I could totally see him
Yeah.
being somewhere across the country, seeing a picture, and then calling his therapist and being like, "Oh, she just posted this picture, and this is how I feel, and this is what's going on, and okay, well, this is what you have to say, and this is how you're gonna communicate this to her, blah blah blah." But write it in a letter, and he just, sends a text 2 hours later, after like you said, jotting down notes and like drafting it.
yeah, it's just like, I'm like, oh, okay, but
It's pretty constructed for an off the cuff,
I
text.
know.
Yeah, it was like bullet points. It wasn't like a train of thought.
I know, not stream of
I was a big Jonah
consciousness.
Hill fan until I read that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like a pretty okay dude. Like, it's like, oh, that's a little glimpse behind the mask there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's loaded with insecurities. I'm sure he's loaded with
I'm sure too.
insecurities.
One fan
Being,
to another.
being someone who is of a bigger size in Hollywood is not an easy thing, and he's lost all that weight. But again, proof that we say this all the time: losing weight doesn't solve the problems that made you heavy in the first place.
Well, he's
Yeah,
lost all that weight, and he still doesn't fit the Hollywood standard.
Exactly, but like
You know?
he's gone after he's gone after someone who is an athlete, capital A athlete,
Like whose whole life is nutrition and fitness and
yes, and the people that she associates with would all be the same, like
Right.
males and females.
Yeah.
They would be fairly fit people that are that do it for a living, and I guess it has to be triggering in certain ways when you haven't felt good enough about X, Y, and Z, and then it's in your face all day, every day. You're like, oh, okay.
I think he's a great actor. I've loved some of the stuff
Definitely.
he's done. Wolf of Wall Street.
Definitely.
He was great. Moneyball. He was
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I even thought he was wonderful in Superbad.
Yeah.
Superbad. Yeah, I'm surprised you saw Superbad, but go you. Go
I
you.
love Superbad.
Oh, if you weren't with us on Tuesday, Luke and I actually did an assigned seating of an action movie. So if you haven't watched this week's assigned seating, we watched The Long Kiss Goodnight starring Gina Davis. Oh, we had a lot to say. It was a long conversation. As you do. Once you get talking, things get crazy. All right, the show's going to take a distinctly weird turn from here. So I'm going to preface it and just say this is the view from here for this week. Now, the topic of the show, the title of this week's episode is Crime and Punishment? ? There's been a lot in the media about a certain individual who has been freed, been paroled from prison. Leslie Van Houten, who was a member of Charles Manson's infamous family, has been paroled. She is now a free citizen. She is out there walking around, ladies and gentlemen, after she was sentenced to 52 years, I think. Originally, she and the other family members were convicted and sentenced to death, but then we all know what happened with the death penalty in California, so they got the life sentences. She's tried constantly to get parole, and this is they just kind of gave up and went, oh well, so well. My question for the panel being, is there not a moratorium on guilt anymore? I mean, this woman isn't innocent.
No, she's not innocent.
She's not innocent. She held down a woman and stabbed her 14 times.
She was part of the Sharon Tate murders?
Yeah.
So the night after. So the Tate murders were one night. The LaBianca murders were the next night.
The LaBianca murder. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, she held a woman down and stabbed her 14 times.
Well,
this is not an innocent person.
No, she's not.
So,
But
yeah.
she was a teenager without a fully developed prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that governs judgment. You know, she's 52 years is a long part of your life. I mean, that's her life. Her life is over. What is she going to do at 72?
Yeah. So with the
LaBianca's
LaBianca's lives when she killed them.
I get that. I
mean,
that.
I kind of, I'm like, part of me is with what Vera's saying. Like, okay, she's done her time. She's 70 something years old. Like, you know, what's she capable of at this point? But then the other half of me is still like you didn't just you didn't murder someone. You didn't shoot someone over a fucking pair of sneakers. You didn't fucking fire one round into a moving car and kill someone. You fucking stabbed somebody 14 fucking times while you held this lady down. And she begged and pleaded for her life.
Like,
and you did it. I get that, you know, the child thing. I understand that, but I mean, these are fucking sick people who need help. And I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in the room for the parole hearings, right? Like, so I didn't read reports. I didn't hear doctors. I haven't heard this woman speak. But I don't know that she is fit to be walking the streets at any age. At 72 years old, she could absolutely grab a woman, putting a kid on a bus and kill her in a car. You know what I mean? She's more than likely not looking to commit murder at this point, but you just don't know. You know what I mean? And it's one of those scary things where it's like, you don't know until it's too late. You know, that something happens and you're like, oh shit, we should have known. You know, and it's like, I mean, that's a flip of the coin. You know, you don't know until it's too late. But man, what a terrible group of people to be part of, to let walk.
Do we know what she's done while she's in prison? I mean, there are a lot of people who do get some rehabilitation out of prison. I don't think a lot. I'm not defending our penal system. It's kind of archaic and kind of backwards, and you know, but perhaps this woman, I mean, I don't know. But 52 years her life is over. And that's
tough luck. But honestly, tough luck. These are not people, and I know that they were under the sway of Manson, and he used drugs to make them pliable and to make them believe, you know, that what they would like. These women thought that they were going to grow up and turn into fairies. Like, this is the shit that, like, he used, like, acid and LSD and all this kind of thing to program. Like, he was an evil genius, evil mastermind, and, you know, is notorious for whatever reason. But these are still the people that took part in these actions. They had, true, like, he would have, like, smacked them around a bit. Like, it was being in the family was a dangerous place to be. But even afterwards, when they were not with Charlie, they were the ones that were, like, catcalling the victims' families in like the trials and laughing and dancing around. Like, there was no remorse until that they had to go to jail and think about what they'd done and realize, oh fuck, I'm here for my entire life. Oh, better look like I've turned a new leaf, so when parole comes up in 23 years, I can do it. And she has gotten lucky that someone has let it slip through this time to go, okay, because no one else from the family has ever been given parole. Susan Atkins died in jail. She deserved to, because she's a fucking horrible monster of a person. But I don't think that you get the option at going, oh, I'm better now. You still did it.
And here,
still
this country, they do it all the time.
And I don't think that's cool. She if there was a question about whether she committed the crime, yes, okay, cool. If it was questionable that she actually did it, but we know that she held the knife. We know that she plunged it into a living person until they were no longer living. They played in their blood. They stole from them. It's not a one time. Yes, one thing has changed the course of your life, but you can't go back and bring those people back to life. So why do you get a second chance?
Is it a second chance? She's not going to get married and have a family. She's not going to go to college and have a career. She has at best 10 to 15 years left in her entire life. She went in there as
that's 10 to 15 years of freedom, though. And my mother, who's worked in a prison for almost 30 years, has described what it's like inside. And I know that it's not much time, but any time, she will die free, and that's a huge
that's a kick in the guts
to be
to
had.
the family. That's a huge kick in the guts to the family that her children had to those kids have to discover their parents murdered in their own home. That's never going to go away for them. That's not going to go away for their grandchildren or their children's children. That family is always going to know what happened to their great grandparents, and that this woman was allowed to go free.
Yeah.
So how much their lives mean in the end? That I'm better now. It's okay. I'm 70. Oh, aren't you sad for me? No, suck an egg and die in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
I'm
don't.
kind of moving in next door to me. I'm not.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate here.
She probably ended up killing herself, honestly.
She is 70. Her life is over. She did serve a life sentence.
But let's look at
two life sentences.
So I don't know how much you guys know about the Manson family. Look at Linda Kasabian. Linda Kasabian didn't actually commit any of the crimes, but she did drive them to the crime scene. And the reason that Charlie
Manson didn't commit any of the crimes.
She was implicated, so she's implicated. But the reason that she got off is that she turned state's evidence and went blah. And she's the reason that any of these people ever saw any jail time.
Charles Manson didn't commit any of these crimes.
She's wandering around out in the wilderness somewhere. Do you know what I mean? She's alive. She's doing things.
At no point did Charles Manson pick up a knife and stab anybody.
Well,
no, he didn't.
And he still got off easy.
And he's in prison for life.
He's dead, so
he served his life sentence.
Good. But
I think once you tattoo a swastika on your forehead, I think you pretty much sealed your own fate.
Oh yeah,
at that point.
Right.
But, I think there are times when I wished I believed in hell, because I do believe there are people that deserve to go, but he did not actually stab anybody.
So, that time he did stab people. He just didn't kill them. Charlie's just sad he writes bad songs. It's okay. We feel it's fine. A lot of us write bad songs. Now, we did have this story posted. It's turned into True Crime Day. We did have this story posted, but we didn't talk about it, and I'm glad we did it because the story did a 180 after it came out. What the fuck happened with Rudy, y'all? Have you heard this story?
I did, but I didn't hear what happened after they found him.
So he was missing for 8 years, just disappeared off the face of the earth, turned back up, non-verbal. But he was just found outside of a church in Houston. And everyone's like, oh my God, he was found alive. Rah, rah, rah. He vanished. 10 years, actually. Yeah, nearly 10 years away. Non-verbal, traumatized, all that kind of thing. But investigators are now saying, and he's given an interview to them, that he was never missing in the first place. He was missing for 2 days, and he was actually locked in the basement of his house by his mother.
What?
enduring horrible abuse.
We want his book.
Right?
Yeah. The police
And
never
Mom,
searched the house. Like, I don't get that.
she lied to the police. She has.
Yeah, but
she
like, if
she
I'm a cop
reported
looking for a
convicted.
kid, I'm kicking in every fucking door in the house. You know what I mean? How many
Well,
times do
they
you hear that the kid, remember the balloon kid a couple of years ago? The guy, fucking kid took off in a balloon or some shit, and he was in the attic the whole time. And I mean, like, you hear stories like this all the time. If you were, we covered a story about a guy dying in a house. They found his body under the steps with the Christmas shit. Like,
Yeah.
if you are missing and I'm a cop on the case, I go, here's my heavy boots. Let's start taking down fucking sheetrock, and I destroy your fucking house before we start looking anywhere else because people are idiots. You understand? People are fucking disgusting, and they do terrible things like lock their kids in a fucking basement and abuse them for 10 years. Like, they make me sick. People like that make me sick. If you're a cop, you need to fucking leave no stone unturned before you even start going looking at other neighbors and shit. Because most of the time, it's right inside their own house. This is crazy. This poor kid, his mother for 10 years.
So he
Like,
he
what?
said that he said that he had the free will to leave, but his mother kept brainwashing him to stay in the house and make to be safe. So his half brother and father had died, and he was her only child, her only family left, and she basically kept him. Now he says that he was forced to sleep in bed with her, but there was no sexual assault.
Weird.
Apparently he was assuming the father role that was left, the void that was left. So the woman is not mentally stable at all.
No.
If she is declaring her son missing, then she had to be damn good at it to make a 17-year-old go, oh, you know what? I will stay in the house. I'm not going to leave for fucking 8 years.
I was just going to say, he was 17 when this was all going on?
17.
When he first disappeared?
No,
17 years old.
Right? He was
That's what it
17 when he
says.
disappeared.
Yeah, oh, wait, sorry. Just say, got wrong. Sorry. Can't read. He's now 17. Wait, is that right?
Oh, so he was 7 when this...
When he disappeared.
My brain hurts. Sorry, it's been a long week. But why are we not arresting this woman?
Yeah.
like, she sounds like she's in a prison of her own mind. She might as well go and bounce off some walls in a padded room somewhere. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't, especially people who can do it to their own children. It just blows my mind that
to any child, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, especially your own child. Like, holy like people. Oh man, people like that. Like, there's there's a special place in hell for people like that.
Like,
that's where they put pineapples up your ass.
JC Dugard just turned up out of nowhere. It's like, dude, she was down the street for however many years. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you really don't know what happens behind closed doors. It's very concerning. So I just say to people, like, I guess this is where, and I think this is part of the societal thing where people don't know their neighbors anymore. People don't know the people that live on their block anymore. So you certainly don't know what's happening behind their doors. Like, I know when I used to grow up. That sounds bad, doesn't it? When I used to grow up. God,
you haven't grown up in a while?
No, I haven't I've grown out, not up. You knew that you could go to someone's house and you knew what happened in people's houses pretty much, especially my street. Our neighbors fought very loudly, and you could just hear them in your house from their house. But it's concerning because we've gone from this culture of be afraid of strangers, don't talk to strangers, to hey, some random I don't know is going to come and I'm going to get in their car and they're going to take me somewhere and I'm going to trust them to take me somewhere. Or some strange person is coming to bring me food. Or I'm going to go and stay in a complete stranger's house. Like, what what is going on? What, like, it's like,
Well, for decades, we taught our children to beware of strangers, stranger danger, don't go walking on the street alone. 9 times out of 10, the boogeyman is someone you know.
yeah,
You know?
definitely. Creepers everywhere, creepers all around. It's very upsetting.
Did anybody catch the news that they may have a break in the JonBenet Ramsey case?
I did. I watched
Really?
a TikTok just before we got online, and if that is true, that is fucking creepy.
What?
It is.
The brother?
That dude.
Why?
is
What
a
are they saying?
So it's a
They're
guy
saying
that
it
they've
was
had. Yeah,
a
it's a
known
guy that they've had
pedophile who lived in that neighborhood that was
13 houses away. 13 houses away from
Really?
her.
And that
And
he
has
had
been
issues.
a suspect, but the only reason they haven't convicted him is because the DNA evidence hasn't supported that he was the one that did it. But that crime scene has to have been the biggest clusterfuck in
corrupted.
the world.
Yeah.
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 Of course,
Wow.
you're not
But
going to
isn't there a jailhouse confession?
Oh, he's confessed multiple times to his friend from high school. He confessed
Yeah.
that, like, the week it happened, that he had hurt a little girl, and the high school friend was like, "I think this is your guy. I think this is your guy," and has kept going back and yeah, and keeps getting confessions from him, but they don't seem to want to act on the fact that this guy is basically going, "It's me. I did it. Look at me."
Right.
Wow.
Well,
The hell?
meanwhile, if it is him, they've completely ruined her father's life.
And
Yeah.
the mother's life.
Well, yeah, the mother died of cancer.
Patsy went to a great river thinking she fucking molested and beat her child and then killed her.
Right.
Like, she doesn't get a second chance, so why should Leslie Van Houten get a second chance? That's like that in the grand scheme of things. You don't get that.
If they had let
You don't
Leslie
get
Van
a
Houten
do-over.
out at 30, I would be right there with you screaming, "This is bullshit."
It's still
She's
bullshit.
an old fucking woman.
How soon do you think it'll be till the book comes out, though?
If she writes a book, all the money goes to the victim's family. There's a
But
federal
still.
law that in this country that
I know because of Sharon Tate's family mainly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
more power to the Tate family and everything they've done for victims' rights. I'm very sorry for them that this has happened on their watch. But people do get older. Like, they can't be as prolific as they once were. Sharon's sister I actually spoke with her to do an interview for the show. But she was super busy and couldn't make it happen. So she's an amazing person who does so much for not only high-profile victims of crime, but everyday. Like, the reason that the laws are what the laws are in your country is because of states and what they went through. So it's up. But I guess it's indicative of where America is at the moment too, with all of these laws and everything getting an overturn or let's look at that. Let's do
I
something funky.
know. Oh my God.
No, I think murder's still murder. That's okay. But enough about me being heated about life. I think it's time for our lovely Vera to get a little bit steamy in the favourite section we call Vera Vents. Okay, V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, Vent.
It's so ironic that you bring up laws being overturned because, last week was a pretty momentous week for our Supreme Court, who's proving every day that they're the very farthest thing from supreme. They overturned affirmative action and they overturned anti-discrimination laws. There's no longer protected class as citizen. If you want to say that this person is affecting your right to freedom of religion, then you are allowed to discriminate against anybody. And the doors are wide open. There's already somebody who's got a big sign in her window that says, "I will not serve anybody who's transgender, who identifies as transgender or uses they, them pronouns." And now there's a lot of cisgendered people who use they, them pronouns. They have returned affirmative action saying it's wrong to give advantage to somebody because of race. Except they didn't overturn legacy admissions to college campuses where rich white students automatically get admitted, even if they're fucking stupid, like George W. Bush, who was in Harvard, and never got better than a C, but he was admitted to, or it might have been Yale, I don't remember, but his father was in Harvard or Yale and whatever college it was, and he was a legacy, and he was dumb as a box of rocks. But a well-deserving minority child who's worked really hard can't get special consideration for the fact that they grew up in poverty, probably working through their high school years, probably working for their entire time at college. Clarence Thomas, who went to college on affirmative action, isn't brazen enough to stand there and say, it's a shitty program. Fuck you, Clarence Thomas. Well, you know what I want to tell you? If discrimination is back on the table and you're going to cry about a black mermaid or a black Santa, you don't get to claim a white Jesus. Fuck you very much. You are fucking with the history. Jesus was not white. He was Eritrean, he was brown-skinned, and he was brown-eyed, and he never was American, and he didn't bless anybody with blonde hair and blue eyes. Fuck you. If you aren't willing to open your hearts to the inequities of our society, you don't get to claim Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know where we're going with that. You've killed Christina.
I killed Christina.
Christina. You're going to jail. You're going to jail with Leslie. Oh, you'll be out because Christina's alive.
Sorry, you don't get to keep Jesus if you can't have a black mermaid. If you can't give black children special privileges, fuck you. You can't have Jesus.
I love that. I love magic white Jesus though.
Because he looks like you.
Oh yeah, he looks like I was about to say I love it, especially love magic white Jesus that's ripped on the cross. It's like, oh, look at the abs. It's like, that was CrossFit before it was CrossFit. You just drag around the cross.
One of my friends.
CrossFit.
My friend
I get it. I got it.
I made it. He knew he was gay because he thought ripped Jesus on the cross was sexy.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Look, we're all as if we weren't all going to hell already. Well, we're going. We're definitely going now. But that's part of the joys of Uncensored Radio. Thank you again for joining us, everyone. Tim, Christina, Vera. I have been Steve, and it's been a lovely journey into the weird and wonderful news of the world. But what I didn't know, Vera, how could you not tell me that the girls were fighting? I didn't know that Marjorie Taylor Greene called Lauren Boebert a little bitch. That's amazing.
Are fighting. Yes.
The girls are fighting.
Marjorie got removed from that committee because she called Bobo a name.
She called her a little bitch.
More on that. A little bitch, and they took her off the committee.
Lauren's world is slowly falling apart as she gets divorced. I mean, what's the common?
Madge's world is falling apart with her divorce too.
And what's these women that are highly Christian and God's right to everything? What does he say about divorcees? You whores. So suck on that. Bye.
I think Madge is having an affair with Kevin McCarthy and Bobo's having an affair with Matt Gaetz.
I want footage of this little bitch thing though. If it's out there, someone forward it to us. I need to see it.